So I don't really know what this channel is going to be or what it's going to become or if it becomes anything, but I definitely needed to rant a little bit about this and this and this and all this. Obviously, I'm still wearing the kit because we got to support our national teams, both men and women. But it's getting increasingly harder, which is crazy to say considering where we were only a week ago after the Bosnia match and how much hope and kind of inspiration there was around the team. That result going down to 10 men and still getting a goal and still looking like the far better side is something that we have not seen maybe ever with the U.S. men's national team. And even going back further in the tournament, the first two group games were mostly exceptional. Paraguay for 90 minutes, Germany, Australia for maybe a half, and then we kind of took our foot off the gas, which I was fine with because the game was kind of where it needed to be. And then Turkey, we rotated, which again, fine. And we still, offensively, we looked all right. Defensively, shaky. And then it kind of all means nothing because of the result today against Belgium. Based on what I had seen from Belgium, and based on what I had seen from us, I genuinely thought we were going to beat the brakes off of them. And we come out, and there's no counter press like there was in the group or against Bosnia. There's no urgency on the ball. There's no creativity whatsoever, which was just unbelievably frustrating and disappointing. I don't really know where U.S. soccer goes from here on the men's side. I think that it is really tough to even look forward because we don't know what the squad's going to be like. Because if it's me, I think the U.S. has to look itself in the mirror akin to when we did not qualify in 2018, which might sound crazy because you might say, hey, we made a round of 16. Again, we played Belgium, who's a decent side. Belgium is a decent side, although they have not looked good in the tournament. But I think old habits rear their ugly head again, where in the biggest moments, this team, specifically this generation, that was supposed to be taking us to new heights, has simply not delivered. And I don't know if Potts changed the tactics. I'm going to assume he didn't, because why would he? And if he did, I will put blame on him, of course. But, I mean, regardless of what the tactics were today, no one could take a first touch. No one was running. No one had any ideas what to do going forward. They could not figure out how to press Belgium. They could not figure out how to retain the ball when Belgium was pressing them. It was just a very, very, very poor performance. And I think that ultimately a lot of our top players might be done. I don't know what to do with Pulisic. I don't know how you can bring him back, and I mean, at least not under the moniker of Captain America, and at least not as our supposed best player, because every time I see him play, I'm disappointed. He was great in the first 45 minutes against Paraguay. Awesome. Gets hurt, as always. Misses until Turkey. And then he comes in, looks okay. And then against Bosnia, fine. Didn't do anything crazy. It was like a 6.5. And then today, terrible. Lost the ball, I'm pretty sure I saw 11 times in the first 45 minutes. How does that even happen? If you're supposed to be the best player, how does that happen? Yeah, it's really frustrating. I think, out of that game, I don't think, actually, I should say, nobody played well at all. But the players I'm okay with bringing back, Chris Richards, despite a bad game. Alex Freeman, of course. Dest is very teetery, but like in the system that we're running, assuming Poch stays, like I don't know who else plays that right wing back spot. Anthony Robinson, Wes, Adams, Balogun. You probably bring Pulisic back, but like I don't know. And if I didn't say Tillman as well. So 8 guys from the whole 26-man squad. Like Freeze, that mistake is so unbelievable. Especially only down 2-1 where like, yeah, we were terrible, but you get another goal again, you're back in. And that can't happen. And Tim Ream, like, thanks for everything, but it was just the lights were too bright. The speed was too quick. And it got exposed today. I'll shout out, Berhalter for actually pressing and running and trying to get the team back up to where they needed to be. Almost scored an absolute screamer. But again, ultimately, it was too little, too late, and just a very, very disappointing performance in a game that, had they played like they did in the group, I think that they beat Belgium pretty handily. But such is the game that we play. Such is the game that we love. And I guess we just have to turn our focus to 2027 for the Women's World Cup. Next Gold Cup, next Nations League, all that stuff. And I guess we got to wait to see if Poch comes back, because if not, I don't really know what the future holds for the program. Do they go after someone like Pep? Maybe. But again, who knows? I also think it's a serious time for us to really look at, the youth soccer model and how pay to play is definitely holding us back. And as a coach, like, I'm part of the problem. But again, if you want to be involved in the game, like, there aren't many options to work with high level players that aren't in the pay to play model. And I don't know if it's something that USSF can ask the U.S. government for subsidization, or if you go to a private funder to start to, and I mean, it would cost an astronomical amount to end pay to play immediately, but you have to start weaning it back. Like, you have to start going after, the European model. And listen, it doesn't have to be exactly like that. You can do your tournaments and you can do your national leagues and all that stuff, but if you want the best kids to be playing, you need it to be free, if not, affordable, if not free, right? Because right now, for the vast majority of kids, it's not affordable. And I think we miss out on a vast majority of talent because of the way that we run things. And I also think that we miss out on the vast majority of players with that elite mentality who have to struggle day in and day out, like the old generations of Brazil, like all those South American teams, even in Europe as well. Like, this sport is not meant to be like American sports. It's meant to be something you live and breathe and love. Not saying that you don't do that in American sports, but it is inherently different. The promotion relegation aspect of it all that, it feels different. Because it's not corporate. It's not a business the way that the NFL is, the way that the NBA is, the way that the NHL is, and MLB. Like, again, those are franchises, right? So you are basically owned by the league, and then one person owns the team, but you answer to the league. And you are always in that league because you've paid your $500 million or whatever it might be. So there are no stakes. There's none. And with soccer or football or whatever you want to call it, there are always stakes. You are representing a nation in the World Cup. There is no higher honor. As a player, that was all I wanted to do. And I played at pretty decently high levels. Obviously, I never got to professional national team levels, but that is the goal. I feel like for every kid that plays at that highest level, the national team should be the goal. And in your league, in your domestic league, right? People have been following teams for generations. You get relegated, like you've ruined people's lives. Like cities shut down. Like there are stakes to what goes on in this game. Far different from other sports, especially in the United States. So you can't run it the same way. And it just angers me that it seems like an uphill battle that I don't know will ever resolve itself without serious intervention from outside funding, USSF stepping in and really going after that youth setup. Because right now, yeah, they sanction ECNL and MLS Next and all that stuff, but they don't really do anything with it. And until they step in with some competency, they can't just step in and do willy-nilly without really thinking it out. I don't really know. But, with that being said, I think that the World Cup has been largely a success. I really do hope that it does inspire a lot of kids, at least from what they saw from the group stage and the Bosnia game, to consider this as, the sport that they want to do, the sport that they love. Because ultimately that should be everyone's goal around this game, is to get more and more people involved in it, get more and more people to love it. But it's really tough to see the bright side in what was an exceptional tournament up to this point for the U.S. men's national team, and now just kind of feels like a waste. So hopefully good can come from this. There can be improvement. There can be discourse and discussion about how we improve the men's national team and how we improve the youth setup and how we, continue to grow the game, whether it's going to see your USL local team or your MLS team or volunteering at a local club, rec, whatever. There's a lot of things we can do. And I just hope that, that starts to happen. But again, I got a little off track with all that, youth soccer stuff. But really, I wanted to rant about the U.S. men's national team and their performance today against Belgium. Shout out to Belgium. Obviously, got a good win. It was the best that they've played all tournament. So kudos to them. Maybe they can go beat Spain, who looked terrible today. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. We'll see what happens with Poch and kind of the aftershocks and aftermath of this kind of very, surprising and disappointing result. And more important than the result, the performance. Like, we could have gone out like Mexico and battled England. We could have gone out like Canada and been the better team against Morocco. You might say 3-0 Morocco, but Canada was taking it to them. And outside of the 3 goals, Canada was the better team. And you might say that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But if you watch the game, you'll know. But yeah, disappointing. Hopefully, there is change and there is discourse, like I said. But tough pill to swallow for sure. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I don't know what this channel is going to be. I don't know if we're going to just be talking about every game under the sun, every league, every international, if it's going to be just U.S. men's national team and U.S. women's national team. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. But, yeah, I'll see you later.